The most dangerous prison you will ever live in was built by no one but you. And the worst part? You hummed quietly to yourself the entire time you built it. Before I explain that, I want you to think of someone, not yourself, someone you love, someone you have watched make the same mistake again and again while you stood there thinking, why can't they just stop? Hold that person in your mind, because by the end of this, you are going to realize something about them that will break your heart. And then you are going to realize the exact same thing about yourself. His name was Daniel. Brilliant, funny, the kind of person who made every room louder just by walking in. By 26, he had everything lined up. Good job, people who loved him, a life that should have felt full. But every single night, without fail, Daniel came home, locked the door, and disappeared into the one thing that made the noise stop. It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't a movie addiction. It was quiet, ordinary, something millions of people do every single day without a second thought. And that is exactly what made it so deadly. Because Daniel didn't look like someone who was losing. He looked like someone who was just unwinding, just coping, just getting through the week. 5 years later, he told me, I didn't even notice I was gone until I was completely gone. That sentence destroyed me because I recognized it, not from Daniel, from myself. And if you're being honest right now, you recognize it too. Here is the cold, brutal truth nobody put in the school curriculum. Every single time you repeat a behavior, your brain physically carves a deeper road for it. Not metaphorically, physically. The neurons that fire together wire together. The more you travel a path, the more automatic it becomes, until one day the road drives you, and you're just sitting in the passenger seat wondering how you got here. Your brain does not care if a habit destroys you. It is not your friend. It is an ancient survival machine with exactly one priority: reduce discomfort right now. Not tomorrow, right now, this second. Toxic habits are not weaknesses. They are answers. Horrifyingly effective short-term answers to pain that once felt unsurvivable. The moment the habit touches you, something releases. The tightness in your chest loosens. The noise in your head quiets. The unbearable weight of just existing lifts. For one beautiful, lying moment, everything stops hurting. And your brain takes a photograph of that moment, labels it survival, and files it somewhere you can never fully delete. You are never addicted to the habit itself. You are addicted to the version of yourself that doesn't feel pain. The habit is just the door, and your brain will burn your relationships, your health, your years to get back through that door. Now here is where it gets worse. In 1954, a neuroscientist named Daniel Olds accidentally placed an electrode near the pleasure center of a rat's brain. He gave the rat a lever. The rat pressed it, felt a rush of reward, pressed it again, 10,000 times an hour. It stopped eating, stopped drinking, pressed the lever until it died. Olds thought he was studying rats. He was studying us. The companies that built your apps studied that rat. The casinos studied that rat. Every notification ping, every variable reward, every autoplay, engineered with billions of dollars specifically to find the lever in your brain and pull it before you even know you're reaching. You were never just fighting a bad habit. You were fighting a machine that knew more about your brain than you did. And still, knowing all of this, you reach for it again. Why? Because the habit doesn't just feel good, it feels like you. It feels like home. Remove it, and suddenly there's a raw, terrifying open space where it used to be. And standing in that space means feeling everything the habit was protecting you from. Every feeling you buried, every truth you outran. Most people would rather keep the habit than feel that. I'm not judging them. I understand exactly why. Somewhere at some specific moment in your life, a moment you could probably name if you sat quietly long enough, something happened that your young mind could not carry. Maybe it was a parent who left, or one who stayed but made you wish they hadn't. Maybe it was the first time someone you trusted completely destroyed that trust completely. The first time the world looked at you and looked away. And in that moment, you found something that helped. You were not weak, you were a child, solving an impossible equation with the only tools a child has. Then you grew up, but you kept the solution. You carried it into every heartbreak, every failure, every quiet Sunday that felt heavier than it should. And every time the pain came, the habit was there, never late, never tired of you, never asking you to explain yourself. The tragedy isn't that you picked it up. The tragedy is that no one ever told you that you were allowed to put it down. And then shame arrived. And shame is the habit's most loyal bodyguard. Shame doesn't say you have a wound that learned a bad coping strategy. Shame says this is who you are, final, irrefutable. Habit creates shame. Shame creates pain. Pain triggers the habit. The loop runs on autopilot in the background of your life like a program you installed at age 9 and forgot about. And shame tells you that you are the only one running it. It is lying. Every human being you have ever admired or envied is sitting inside some version of this exact loop. The details change, the escape changes, but the architecture, the pain, the relief, the shame, the reach is universal. It is not a character flaw. It is the human operating system, and it's shipped with every single one of us. So why can't you just stop? Under real stress, your prefrontal cortex goes offline, literally. The rational thinking part of your brain loses blood flow. The ancient survival brain takes the wheel, and that brain speaks only one word: relief. And it knows exactly where to find it. This is why you decide to stop 100 times and mean it every single time, and why the decision evaporates the moment real pressure arrives. You are not weak, you are human, running software that was never designed for the pain you are actually carrying. Now let me tell you about the Tuesday that saved Daniel. He came home, felt the pull, that familiar gravitational pull towards the habit, and instead of following it, he sat down on his kitchen floor and just sat there, with the feeling, for 4 minutes, shaking, uncomfortable, wanting desperately to escape, and then the feeling passed. Not forever, but enough. He told me those 4 minutes were the hardest thing I have ever done in my life, because I had spent 15 years running from that feeling. Sitting still with it just once felt like defusing a bomb with my bare hands. That's what recovery looks like. The brain that built the trap is the exact same brain that can dismantle it. The same neuroplasticity that carved the canyon can grow grass over it. Not quickly, but really, provably, really. This is not about willpower. It is about becoming the adult who finally goes back for the child who first picked this up, kneeling down and saying, "I see you. I see what you were carrying. I see why this made sense. You did what you had to do to survive, but you can put it down now. I will carry us differently." You will not heal in a straight line. You will reach for the habit again on the night you swore you were done with it. That is not failure. That is a deep groove doing what deep grooves do. The only thing that separates people who get free from people who don't is whether they can say, "I stumbled," instead of "I'm broken." Because broken things cannot be fixed. Stumbling things are just still walking. Daniel is okay now. Not perfect, not cured, just okay. Which, if you've ever been truly not okay, you know is one of the most beautiful words in the human language. He still feels the pull sometimes, quieter now, more whisper than roar, and on the days it gets loud, he goes back to the kitchen floor, 4 minutes, sitting still, defusing the bomb with his bare hands, one Tuesday at a time, until the whisper gets quieter, and the person underneath gets louder, and one morning you wake up, look around, and finally recognize the architect of